I'm Catalina Maria Johnson on behalf of Gozamos and Beat Latino from Chicago. And we're here with friends from Bogotá, Estados Alterados, which means altered states. Estamos aquí con Ricky, con Elvis y con Carlos. Entonces, let's start by telling me, I read that you were actually, you've been on the scene for a long time,
Yes.
something like 20 years.
Yes.
So you started as babies.
We started like babies, 1987. We started in Medellin, our city. We grew up in a city that, as probably if you read history, you will realize how difficult it was. And our expression was through music, electronic music. In those days in Latin America, it was pure rock. But when we start to work with samplers and electronic music, that was an amazing thing for people, and we were able to really open a new door for many musicians today.
Now, what led you to electronic music? I mean, what was it that, did you wake up one day and say, electronic is the answer? Why not rock? I mean, rock is also an expression, and is also an expression of, you know, I know that your country was living through conflict and difficult times,
Yeah.
so why not rock?
I don't know. I think it was our way to be ourselves, because everyone was like, I don't know, with long hair and black tight pants, all that stuff, and we weren't like that. We were looking for something else, and that's our expression, and we're still doing it. And nowadays it is not rock. Nowadays it is electronic cumbia or whatever, but we are doing what we feel that represents us the better.
Well, that would be my next question then. To what extent do you incorporate cumbia, the sounds, I don't know, what is the music, the main music in Medellin, would you say? Salsa, no?
Yes.
Or, I mean, to what extent do you bring that into your mix?
Our extent, to be honest with you, we respect pretty much our music, what is defined as folk, but we really explore. We explore electronic music in combination with sounds that we get curious on a daily basis, listening everything. But it's not that we are a Colombian cumbian rock electronic band. We are not. We are a project with electronic music in general.
Tell me a little bit about what each of you does in the group.
I play guitar. Now I'm involved with the band since 1.5 years ago, and we're like starting to produce new songs, new things, and producing the live show also.
He's the new blood.
He's he's the baby.
The kid.
Now, before you start telling me what you do, your tag says Fernando Sierra, but you
Yeah,
told me your
that's-
name was Elvis.
No, Elvis is not my name. It's
no,
my
no.
nickname.
Uh-huh.
It was many years ago, supposedly because I looked like Elvis Costello back in those days. And it's a good nickname, I think.
It's stuck.
It is. And I'm the singer of the band, lead singer. Also a little bit of programmation in composition.
Ricardo Ricky Restrepo, drummer, also involved with machines around and helping Elvis with background voices.
So, and it's Medellin, and Bogotá.
Yes.
And there's a fourth member here.
Yes, it is a fourth member that at this point is outside of the loop. It's more like a person that was invited. It's a nice person, and we need to mention his name. Juan Gallego is with us, and he's playing in New York with a band, Colombian cumbia band, La Cumbiamba Energy, and he has been cooperating a lot with us.
Now tell me, in these 2 decades, how has your music changed? I mean, there's been a lot's changed. Medellin certainly has
Yes.
changed, right?
I think it's a matter of seeing the 80s of Medellin with a lot of pressure when you were young, if I can define it, but with a lot of energy to live.
Tell me a little bit about, I mean, people might not know about the 80s in Medellin. Tell me a little bit about that.
we always said this, but it's true. It's nothing as a cliche. Medellin in the 80s, beginning of 90s, was a very difficult city, as many are, but in our case was a very difficult one. In those days, Pablo Escobar was the lord of drugs and was in control of the city, and we suffered, all of us, violence in one way or another. We lost friends. We saw how the society changed to a point that we were concerned about what was going to happen, future. And if I can define it briefly, we learn to live the present. Rarely we prepare for the future. These days we are more positive, and that also was involved or was an influence for respond right away with our music. And based on your question, I'm gonna pass the microphone to Elvis to see how was the evolution of the band, because definitely we have been going through different phases for 2 decades.
Yeah. In 1991, Medellin was elected statistically as the city with most killings in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
And we was born there. Our music was born there. And many young people we know choose the easy way because it was really easy to go for the drug money or that kind of stuff. We choose the other way. We choose the music and to be productive, to be proactive. And we have tried a lot of things in these years. We like to define ourselves more like experimental, more than electronic. Even though if you hear our music, it sounds electronic. And it's been a search for ourselves. And I think nowadays we are more close than who we really are.
But one important aspect, Elvis, I'm sorry that I take the lead to discuss this. We were with labels, major labels in Colombia, and this is our first album that we record independently. That was a huge, major change because we are the ones making the efforts in every single sphere. And now, with the changes, the positive changes in Colombia and in our city, and with the media exposed, we have seen that has been worth it. This is our 5th album, and our 5th album is Romances Científicos, scientific romances, that maybe later we're going to give you one.
I hope so. Now, bueno, hagamos un par de preguntas en español, entonces, para concluir. ¿Y el nombre de Estados Alterados?
Es un nombre tomado de una película.
¿De una película?
De ciencia ficción que se llama Estados Alterados, Altered States. Nos ha influenciado siempre bastante la ciencia ficción. Es una cosa que nos gusta mucho decir cada que podemos, y es que no solo nos inspiramos en música para hacer música, sino en literatura, en cine, en muchas cosas que te ayudan a innovar, digamos, ¿no? A hacer cosas diferentes de lo que siempre estás oyendo. Ahora Romances Científicos también es un nombre sacado de la ciencia ficción. Es la antigua ciencia ficción del siglo XIX. No se llamaba ciencia ficción, sino romances científicos. Eso era lo que escribía Julio Verne, H.G. Wells, todos estos personajes.
Wow. Y cuéntenme un poco entonces, para concluir, ¿cómo componen sus canciones? O sea, ¿cómo es que se reúnen, uno tiene una idea, el otro se le ocurre otra cosa, o tienen ya un plan, o alguien ya trae la melodía, la letra? ¿Cómo es?
Realmente Estados no tiene un plan en ese punto, o sea, es ser un poco libres. Cada uno puede tener ideas, cada uno puede estar influenciado de otras cosas, cada uno tiene su vida aparte. Digamos, Ricky está acá, él es psiquiatra, Elvis trabaja con universidades, es ingeniero industrial, es diseñador industrial, perdón. Y yo tengo un estudio de audio, entonces cada uno tiene influencias muy fuertes. De repente nos encontramos y lo que empezamos es a botar esas ideas. A veces, por ejemplo, Elvis ha programado algunas cosas en su casa o Ricky en la suya. Nos encontramos y empezamos a darle un poco de evolución a eso, a producirlo y a ver qué va saliendo de ahí. Después de ya tener como una primera maqueta, entonces ya sabemos, digamos, qué es lo que tenemos y empezamos a buscar, digamos, sonidos. Venga, yo quiero que mi batería se vaya más hacia los años, qué sé yo, 60, 70 formas de grabación. Empezamos a investigar también eso. Siempre estamos como haciendo un research grande tanto de música como de técnicas, como de arte, como de cosas visuales que nos van a ayudar a que la música trascienda y se vuelva un poquito más interesante. Es un poquito el proceso.
Wow. Y entonces, bueno, una pregunta que le hago a todos los músicos porque me interesa mucho la respuesta. ¿Por qué la música? O sea, puede haber otras maneras de... Sí, no tenemos horas, pero haciendo una frase o dos, ¿cuál es el poder especial de la música? ¿Por qué la música? Y por qué no, qué sé yo, pintar o hacer cualquier otra cosa que también es expresiva, ¿no?
Claro, yo creo que la música a nosotros, por el momento que nos tocó vivir, fue un espacio donde pudiste concentrarte con amigos y en ese espacio se dio la creatividad que nos dio pie a pensar en hacer ruido inicialmente y ese ruido se convirtió en lo que somos hoy. Esa es la definición y creo que nos acompaña por siempre, este ruido sonoro, si lo puedo definir así.
A mí eso siempre me ha intrigado mucho. ¿Qué tiene la música? O sea, ¿qué hace que un ruido con cierto orden impacte tan fuerte en la gente, cause cosas tan intensas? A mí, y una vez yo oí a un científico decir en una conferencia que es que la música es un cerebro hablándole a otro en lenguaje de programación. Eso me pareció lo máximo, me pareció como la forma de comunicación más directa. El lenguaje puede entorpecer las cosas, la expresión oral puede irse por otros lados, la música va al sentimiento, es derecho.
En mi caso, creo que la música fue una forma de poder expresar algo que nunca podía. Yo soy una persona bastante solitaria en mi vida. En el colegio y en todas esas sociedades, digamos, dentro de mi Bogotá, siempre estaba un poco aparte de ellos. La música fue una forma de poder expresar algo. Yo empecé a tocar guitarra y para mí era... De pronto las palabras para mí no son tan fáciles a veces y encontré en la guitarra esa forma de expresarlo. Creo que no es solo la música, lo que hablábamos ahorita, estamos muy influenciados de muchas otras cosas, del arte, del diseño, de otras cosas, y creo que solamente lo traducimos en música porque, bueno, es nuestro lenguaje, nuestra forma de hablarlo. Pero creo que es importante expresarnos emocionalmente más en un país que ha tenido la violencia que ha tenido o la sociedad tan a veces intransigente que podemos llegar a tener.